Welcome to the unboxing of the first copy of Kings of Israel, the Kickstarter edition to be opened. I just got these from China today, and we're going to take a look at it and see what's all inside. So first off, we got the cover done by Matt Ebish in the back, displaying all the pieces, or at least a chunk of the pieces of the game. The Kickstarter edition of the game can be distinguished from the regular version of the game by the barcode. The barcode ends with 717. You've got a Kickstarter edition of the game. And so let's open her up. About the game, Kings of Israel takes place during the reign of kings in the northern kingdom of Israel. And it's a cooperative game for, 2 to 4 players, but there was also 2 mini expansions created during the Kickstarter campaign. So there's 4 people who can play cooperatively, and if you want, you can play 5 or 6 players if 2 of them play as the enemies of the prophets. So each side would have different goals to win the game. And so Kings of Israel takes place over all the reigns of the Israel kings, and during the reigns the players act as prophets trying to remove evil and idols from Israel while building the altars they need to win the game. And then a lot of bad stuff is going to happen, preventing them from doing that. Let's see what's inside. Alright, right at the top we've got the rule book. We got a little intro, and then we got the game setup. The initial picture here shows a sample 3-player game of how it might look after you set it up. We've got how to win and lose in the game round. The 4 different phases of the game. We'll start with the King's Godliness phase, and depending on whether you have a good or bad king, good or bad things can happen. You got Sin Increases phase. Every round there's going to be bad things that people are doing, and it's going to cause these little black cubes to appear, sin cubes, and also potentially idols. And idols are especially bad because if something bad happens at a location with idol, then it can cause evil to spread all around it. And so they're the biggest threat to the prophets. We've got the actions that each person can do on their turn, and there's also a mention of the easier version and also an expert version where it uses the black false prophet token, and then some general frequently asked questions. Also it mentions where you can go to look up if there's a rules question you have, or if you want to download the Bible study rule book, which is a way of using the game to teach things to students. It shows you where to go from there. So that's the rule book. And so then inside we've got these 4, in the normal game it's 4 player aids. You can see here. And on one side it shows the turn order, and then on the other side it shows the different actions each player can do. And so this is normally what would appear in the regular version, but because this is the Kickstarter version, we also got these 3 special variants, or 5 to 6 player rules. There's a false prophet variant for there's more false prophet tokens in the Kickstarter version, and they can be used to potentially have multiple false prophets running around the board. So we got that. We got the false prophet rules for someone if someone's going to play the villain in the game, which would be the false prophet. And so on one side it tells them the person how to set up the board, and on the other side it tells what kind of rules that they have to follow, and what kind of actions they can do. And the other one is if you want to play the villain as a thief, there's that option for 5 to 6 players. And it also tells setup rules and special actions that player can do. So we got that. Here's the board, and the board is a shot of Israel, the northern kingdom part of it, and it goes top to bottom. On one side you'll see this timeline, that's the timeline of Kings, and on the other side you'll see the actual map, and you'll see all a bunch of real locations found during roughly this period of time in Israel's history. Around the edge there's the nations that might cause bad things to happen too. So this is the board. And we got all the little pieces and cards and stuff like that. Alright, starting off, let's look at all the tokens. One thing I like here is that we got little bags for every little thing. So we got the altars in the game. These are needed to win the game. You need to build these, and also they're good for making sacrifices. Sacrificing is sort of like a reverse sin and punishment, sin bomb, and it removes large amounts of black cubes from the board, which is necessary to win the game. We've got the black tokens and black cubes and the red destruction cubes. And because this is the Kickstarter version, there's also these guys here. These are destruction tokens that can be used in place of the red cubes. And so there's a certain card that causes locations to get destroyed, and instead of putting a red cube to mark it, you got these things to show that location is destroyed and you can't go there anymore. And we got the Kickstarter special tokens. These are for the players to use instead of their normal tokens. They look like little little profits, and then there's also a little thief, and there's also some false profits here. And we got the cow tokens, the idols. These are banned. And then we got the regular tokens that appear in all copies of the game. Alright, then over here we got the cards, still in shrink wrap. And so let's bust those open. I believe these are mixed together a little bit, so I'll have to sort these out to make sure they all get put in the correct place. Starting off, we've got the starting player card, which is this one right here. This one passes around for whoever's turn it is. We've got the ability cards, and these the players use to they get special abilities, each player. There's 8 of them in a regular game, but because this is the Kickstarter edition, there's also going to be 4 more, and I think this is the Kickstarter packet, so we'll look at that in a moment. We got the blessing cards. There's 30 of those in the regular game, but a bonus 4 in the Kickstarter version. And those are all good things that happen because of good kings. See over here, we've got, let's see, we got a stack of resource cards. There's 5 different resources in the game that are used to either build altars, make sacrifices, or they can be used to move around quickly. Let's see, what else we got? We got some locations. So there's some locations over here, and then we got the rest of the locations here. And these determine where sin and evil spreads during that turn. Basically, it's a shot of each different location and then 2 of the nation cards. So nations are come up more frequently than locations, and then there's a couple cards that cause the deck to be restarted, and old discarded locations to go back on top of the deck. Then we got the Sin and Punishment deck, and the Sin and Punishment deck has got 30 cards. With the Kickstarter version, there's a bonus 4 cards that they will have. And these are all the bad things that occur because of bad kings, and also things that maybe the Israelites are doing, or maybe because of surrounding nations. And then we got this little packet here, and these are Kickstarter exclusive cards, not to be found in the regular version of the game. So let's open those up, see what we have. First off, we got the 4 unique ability cards. We got the 4 sin and punishment cards. They're unique. And we got the 4 blessing cards that are unique to the Kickstarter copy. So the Kickstarter version will have those 12 unique cards, special tokens, destruction tokens, and that's how you will be able to tell apart the regular version and the Kickstarter version once you open it up inside. Oh, and then the special cards for the False Prophet variant, special 5 to 6 player version that uses the Thief and False Prophet. These 2 cards, the special 5 and 6 player versions, will be able, other players can download from the internet, from the Kings of Israel website, but the actual physical copy is just found in the Kickstarter version. And so that's the unboxing of Kings of Israel. I got to look over this a little more. So this is the first I've seen of it, and make sure everything's okay. But it looks pretty good right now, and I'm very excited to check it out. I hope you are too. Kings of Israel should be out, available at Amazon starting late November of 2014 or early December of 2014. And check it out, and also make sure to check out our website displayed here. Thanks, everyone.